Hello, welcome to my second video series. This one is about installing Arch Linux. In this video series, I hope I can understand OS and Linux a little bit more. To give you a little bit of my background, I have been working on security for a while, but I always feel that I lack some kind of in-depth knowledge when reading about malware analysis, buffer overflow, etc. So I decided to understand how OS work by understanding Arch Linux, one of the most customizable OS available. In this video, I will try to install the Arch Linux in VirtualBox environment. I follow most of the instruction from Arch Linux wiki, which is very informative, but sometimes it can scares newbies away. Alright, let's get started. First of all, let's download the ISO from the official website. If you have not already, you can follow me by clicking the link below in the description. You can choose location near you. Just make sure it is 64-bit. When you download the ISO, you can go to uh, the VirtualBox client, create a new Arch Linux VM. You can make it a beefy spec or make it like a medium OS like me. You can change it back when you feel your virtual PC or um, your physical one does not have enough resources. Just make sure you have enough storage, like 20 gigabyte or more. If you don't know how to resize your hard drive in a Linux environment, it could be quite troublesome. When it's done, boot up the VM with the ISO. Again, pick 64-bit in the grub menu. You will see the VM is ready when you see the prompt for input. A simple check of the internet should be good to make sure we can download the package from the internet. We can ping the Google DNS and make sure it's online. We can also check the clock with time date CTL. Now the third thing we need to do for installing the OS is to create a partition. The website suggests fdisk, but I end up using cfdisk, which looks a little bit easier. The task is to create a 2 GB swap disk and 18 GB primary disk. I won't go through the details, you can follow the instruction in the screen record. The next step is to format the hard disk with X4 format and enable the swap drive. The commands should be the same as shown on the installation guide. When the drives are ready, install the base package of Arch Linux. The package manager of Arch Linux is pacman. The install package includes base, Linux, and Linux firmware. The website explicitly states that it does not include all the packages we see in a live installation. We can decide whether to install the rest of them in the later section. Next, we can configure the system. First, we can tell the OS on how to mount the hard drive by using the FS tab. When the installation is complete, we can change the root to the new system. Alright, the next thing we need to configure is the time zone. We can make a soft link to the time zone with the etc local time file and then run HW clock to generate ADJ time. Next is the localization. Here you will need the text editor, which the workspace package does not include, or at least there is one that I'm not familiar with. For me, it's either VI or Nano. I'll pick Nano as there are less hidden commands with the colon terminal. First, we need to edit the locale gen and then run the command. And then create the locale config file. I will use the US UTF just for convenience. Next, host name is how your VM is named, and it will be visible to all other computer if there are other computers in the network. Create the hostname file and then fill in the name over there. Next, we should change the password of root, which we are currently working on. Okay, right here, this should be the final step of the Arch Linux minimum installation. We need to install the boot manager on our hard disk. This could be confusing when you look at the guide. There's nothing concrete to follow on the page. It basically tells you you need to choose one and then follow the guideline on a separate page. I picked grub, which is also the choice of the live installation. First, install grub and OS Poba with pacman, and then use grub-install to install grub on your hard disk. Finally, we need to create a config file. When it's done, exit, unmount everything, and then reboot. Don't forget to remove the ISO. When everything is good, you should be able to boot up the VM with grub, and then you can log in with root with your password. The host name should be how you name during the installation. Okay, this should come to an end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. In the next video, we will see how we can add on this minimal Arch Linux. See you soon.